friends dutifully forged of circumstance, who become something more abiding. Love at first sight friends, for whom one's heart leaps in recognition. But of what exactly? From the first conversation. Friends formed of shared intellectual interests or political concerns. Friends slowly stolen from other friends, wittingly or unwittingly. Fair weather friends, fast friends, feckless friends, mad friends, the innocents, the loyal guard, the lost ones. There are those friends you always rather dread seeing, but whose company you invariably enjoy more than you expected. And those you can't wait to spend time with, who somehow always disappoint. They're the ones you always thought really got you, until you realize belatedly they didn't at all. And then you wonder who they thought you were, and troublingly, who you thought they were too. There are the solid, quiet ones you carelessly overlook, until you come shamefacedly to see their solid gold. Each one has something to teach us. Each is remarkable, not least because we give them our hearts. We choose them, deem them special, and they choose us. When you consider how agonizing this process proves in our romantic lives, who will ever love me? It seems all the more miraculous that, in friendship, we make our choices with abandon, sincerely, eagerly, often unthinkingly, and usually without prospect of measurable gain. In an era in which we obsessively measure value and take a disturbingly utilitarian approach to so much in our lives, friendship remains an essential extra, a gift that, even in its challenges, brings us more than we can truly know. In addition to exploring the cultural and social histories of friendship, Mroz cites its many known benefits, including better physical and psychic health. But one of this book's abiding pleasures rests in its moving use of anecdote, the deft inclusion of moving stories told by ordinary women of all ages about the girls and women they have loved, with whom they've struggled, and upon whom they've relied. Every woman who reads this book will find echoes of her own experiences. In Girl Talk, Mroz grants these vital human connections the focus and importance they merit, a serious attention for which her readers will be lastingly grateful. Introduction. A friend may well be reckoned the masterpiece of nature. Ralph Waldo Emerson. We tell our friends secrets that we wouldn't entrust to anyone else. We cry on their shoulders when things have gone wrong, and we toast them when they've succeeded. We talk to them about our significant others, our kids, our parents. We go on adventures together, and we laugh over each other's imperfections. What would we do without our friends? I know I couldn't live without mine. We feel better when we're with our friends. Even knowing they're there for us can make us happy. And research has begun to back up the magic of friendship and its connection to our health. Having friends improves our immunity, promotes healing, lowers blood pressure, and makes us feel less depressed. It even makes us live longer. But sometimes, our friends can behave in strange and mysterious ways. They may act jealous or unfeeling. They may undermine us, or, even more seriously, they may cause us to break up with them permanently. At the same time, other friends will go on being supportive, kind, and caring. What makes women behave in these ways? I've had my own friend breakups in the past, and I wanted to understand why they happened. As I started talking to my current friends about my experience, I realized that I wasn't alone. Many of them had their own story about the friend that got away, and most of them were still sad about the loss. But what really struck me, besides the grief, was the sense of confusion. None of us could figure out what had caused a close friendship to turn sour, and that made me curious about the mystery behind these rifts. I wondered, could there be a scientific explanation for women's behavior with their friends, both good and bad? If I could find an answer to how female friendship worked, could I learn to prevent my own relationships falling apart and make them stronger, as well as provide useful advice to others? Friends are so important to women, and studies have shown that a breakup with a friend can feel even worse than a divorce. As a longtime science writer,